morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Bean Museum. Today's video, we're going to be doing discovery reading. So if you're joining us today, we're going to be reading some really fun books. Specifically today, we're going to be talking about black and white animals. So we're going to get to read some books with some cool black and white animals in them. I have this nice zebra here in the background to show you an example of a black and white animal. And we're going to talk about a whole bunch of different ones and maybe list a couple of black and white animals. If you can think of any black and white animals, there's a lot of them. You can comment them down below. Comment your favorite one. I'll give you a hint. My favorite is an orca whale. Okay, so we're going to be reading some books about black and white animals, like I said. And if you have any questions about the books that we're reading, or if you want to comment on anything, or any questions about the animals that we talk about, feel free to leave those questions and comments down below so that we can answer them for you, okay? All right, so our first book is kind of a silly book. It is called I'll Wait, Mr. Panda, and it is by Steve Antony, and it's published by Scholastic. So this book is pretty silly. You can see we have a panda right here on the front, and a penguin. So let's see what other black and white animals we meet with Mr. Panda. Okay, so here we start off. What are you making, Mr. Panda? Wait and see. It's a surprise. We have a llama right over here. Mr. Panda says he has to wait for the surprise. No, I will not wait. Goodbye. I'll wait, Mr. Panda, says the penguin. Are you making cookies, Mr. Panda? Wait and see. It's a surprise. We got ourselves an anteater over here. No, waiting is too hard. Goodbye. But Penguin says, I'll wait, Mr. Panda. He wants to know what surprise Mr. Panda has for him.
Are you making cupcakes, Mr. Panda?
Wait and see. It's a surprise. Got all these little white bunny rabbits in all their little holes. Mr. Penguin is giving them some pets on the ears. It's pretty cute.
No, I'm done waiting. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. I'll wait, Mr. Panda.
You're a very patient penguin here. Is it ready yet, Mr. Panda? No, wait here. So we have ourselves, I think that's a stork right there. Got a little black and white bird. Okay, have you thought of any other black and white animals yet? I don't like waiting. Goodbye. He flew away. Oh, wait, Mr. Panda. We have the penguin. He says he'll wait.
I'm waiting, Mr. Panda.
So patient. Surprise! Wow! That was worth the wait. What did he surprise him with, guys? A giant donut! Oh my goodness. I know, says Mr. Panda. Thank you, Mr. Panda. I can't wait to eat it, is what Mr. Penguin says. And he rolls it all the way home. The end. So that's our cute little, that's the end of our book, I'll Wait, Mr. Panda. And we should have guessed it was donuts. Look what's on his apron on the very cover. Donuts. All right, so we saw several different black and white animals in this book. We saw Mr. Panda. We saw the penguin. We can see on the back a couple examples here. We saw the anteater and the stork and the bunny rabbits. So those are all examples of some black and white animals And sometimes black and white animals are black and white. Sometimes they are that way to say, hey, stay away. I don't want you to eat me, such as the monarch butterfly caterpillar. They're black, white, and yellow, and they're really, really stripy, and the stripes let everything know, hey, I'm poisonous, don't eat me, because the black and white stripes really stand out. What's interesting, though, is that there are, oops, sorry, I kicked you guys. There are some animals that use those black and white stripes, such as our friend the zebra here, that use those black and white stripes to help blend in. So these guys, their stripes don't really blend in with their surroundings. Like if we look at the painting that's back here, this is where a zebra lives. They live in the grasslands. Black and white isn't really the color of the grasslands. It's more greens and yellows. But when a whole herd of zebras stands together, it gets kind of hard to see for the predators like a lion. It gets hard for them to see the difference between each individual zebra. It's almost like an optical illusion. So the lines of each zebra kind of blend together, and it makes it harder, the depth perception of the predator. It makes it hard for them to see if they're going for a close zebra or a really far zebra. It all just kind of looks like one big blob of zebra. And it makes it so when they go to attack the zebras, they're more likely to miss, and the whole herd of zebras can run away. So unlike the monarch caterpillar, which uses its stripes to be like, hey, don't eat me, I'm poisonous, these guys use their stripes to help them blend in. Pretty crazy, right? Now I'm going to come around to the other side of the screen. I'm going to see if you guys have any questions for me or any comments about the book that we've read so far, and then we're going to get started on our second book, okay? So let me just come around and check real quick here. Oh, you guys have been coming up with some great ones. Hello, Jeff. And yes, you guys said the panda is a great black and white animal. A skunk is a great example too. Those guys are black and white. Kind of similar to the monarch caterpillar. They're black and white to say like, hey, I'll fight you if I need to. But really, they have that really stinky spray. That's to say like, hey, don't come closer. I'll spray you. I'll do it. Don't think I won't. And that's what their black and white colors say about them. Now, we have another one. It's also about pandas, but like I said, there are tons of black and white animals. So if you can think of any more, keep commenting them, okay? But we're gonna read one about a panda. Oh, this one's called Tracks of a Panda. It's by Nick Dawson, and it is published by Candlewick Press. So we have permission to read this by Candlewick Press. Now this book's pretty cool because we're gonna actually follow a baby panda from when it's born as it grows, okay? So we're gonna look. We have this mama panda right here, and there's her teeny tiny baby. Is he black and white? No, he hasn't grown his fur yet, but he's so little in comparison to mom. High on a mist-wrapped mountain, cradled in a leafy nest, Panda holds her newborn cub gently in her giant paw. Small as a pine cone, pink as a blob of wriggling sunset, he sinks squawking into his mother's fur until her warm milk fills his mouth. He's as big as a pine cone. You ever see pine cones? They're so little. Look at this little baby panda. For days, Panda stays with her cub in her hollow tree den, but the need to feed herself grows stronger, and one bright August morning she leaves him and follows her old tracks to the patch of bamboo grass where she eats. We have Mama Panda here. She's eating some bamboo. That is the main diet of pandas. She rolls on her back in a soft bed of ferns and grabs a handful of bamboo. Slowly, her big black nose wrinkles. These leaves smell good, and she's very hungry. Before she goes back to cuddle and suckle her cub, Panda strips 10 stems bare. And here, this cool little fact right here says pandas have very big back teeth to help them crush through bamboo stems. So she has these big teeth to help her get through the bamboo stems. Okay. For 7 weeks, the cub's eyes stay shut. He feeds and sleeps, cries and gurgles as he grows around his ears and eyes, across his legs, and like a row of hairy ink on his back. Some of his fur darkens, like his mom, into black. So you can see he started out pink, and then some of his fur started to grow and darken until he starts to look like this. He looks just like a little panda. One fall day, he crawls up Panda's chest onto her neck. Something cold and wet tickles his nose, and he opens his eyes for the first time into a world of falling snow. The cub grows fast through winter. He still climbs and plays on his mother, but now he also takes his first step along the mountain tracks. But Panda has not eaten well for weeks. Her bamboo patch is dying. Now that her cub is 6 months old and strong enough to travel, she knows they must find a new home. I was accidentally covering up our sweet little pandas right here. They kind of blend in with the black and white environment during the snow, huh? But they gotta have, it blends in really nicely in the winter, but they gotta find some bamboo to eat, so they're gonna move somewhere else. Below her old territory, the path is steep. Weak with hunger, Panda stumbles and bumps her cub into a deep drift of snow. She goes to him and smells an unexpected buried meal there. Snow flies as she scrapes. This deer meat is old, but will give her strength. So that's a common misconception about pandas, that they only eat bamboo, but really just the majority of their diet is bamboo, but they actually are omnivores. So here, Mama Panda, even though she would prefer to eat bamboo, finds some deer meat and eats that instead. After eating, Panda suckles her sleepy cub, then thirsty drinks from a stream. A shadow slips through the trees. Closer it comes, its long tongue lolling. Might be a predator. Panda lifts her big dripping head. Like knives, her long claws thrash through the air, and the wild dog growls and slinks away. Good job, Mama Panda. Scare off the wild dog. With danger in the forest, Panda needs a safe place to sleep, in a tree. She hugs the fir's frosty trunk with both arms, and her strong claws and furry feet grip the bark. Her cub clings to her shoulder as they clamber toward the clouds. Then he leaves her and scrambles to his own high perch. So pandas are very good climbers here. When she wakes, Panda suckles her cub, but still needs food for herself. They move on. Soon she sees a new mountain rising with bamboo on its slopes. Cold water laps at her tired feet, and she walks into a stream's dark pool. Her paws touch bottom all the way, but in the middle, the cub has to swim. He kicks hard with his feet, and his paws turn to paddles as he pushes the water behind him. So they have to be able to swim, at least to get across. You can see little panda cub. He's just barely paddling through. Think they'll make it to find some good bamboo. This new territory has plenty of food. Panda won't go hungry now. Her cub, too, begins to eat bamboo. He grips a stem and, copying his mother, curls his sticky tongue around the leaves. Nom, nom, nom. Yum, yum, yum. Bamboo. Spring brings warm rain and juicy new shoots of bamboo poke up. One day, mother and cub are feeding when they hear axes thud and branches crash nearby. Panda stops chewing. Villagers are chopping firewood. If they move up the mountain, she and her cub cannot stay. Slowly, she climbs up a deer path, her cub close behind. There they go. Clouds curl around their tracks as they go. Their hunt for a new home is beginning again. The end. So this was all about how pandas move around a lot to find different territories. So in this one we had Mama Panda. They had to find somewhere that had more food supplies. They needed more bamboo to eat. And then they had that for a while. They were able to eat the bamboo for a long time. But then there were other animals, humans, who came by and were chopping wood in the area. And the pandas were like, this isn't quite safe for us anymore. We're going to move somewhere else. So 'tis the life of a panda. And we got to follow Panda and baby Panda, her little cub, to see where they headed. All right, I'm gonna come around again, see if you have any questions or comments for us. Ooh, let's see what we've got here. Oh, you guys have been listing some really good ones. Snow leopards, absolutely. Lemurs, absolutely. Some of those are black and white, especially if you think colobus monkeys. Those are the ones that are black and have a white kind of face, and then they have white hair that comes off their arms and off their tail. And then you asked snow tigers. That's a really good guess. Tigers can come in black and white. Most of them are black and orange, but some of them do come in black and white. It's not a specific tiger that lives like in the snow. It's just that because lots of tigers can live in high altitude areas where it snows a lot. There's just some that genetically are black and white. So those are some really good ones. Thank you for sharing. Now I have one more black and white animal to share with you guys. I have here with me my penguin. This one right here is a black-footed penguin, all right? And there are 17 different kinds of penguins, and you will be able to see that almost all of them are black and white. There are a couple of them that are a little bit different colors or that have a few colors on them, like how the emperor penguin has a little bit of yellow right here, or the macaroni penguin has a yellow feathers that stick out the side of its head, or the blue fairy penguin, the smallest penguin in the world, is kind of a grayish blue with a little bit of a gray-white belly. So penguins come in lots of different colors, but let's talk about why they're black and white. So far we've seen animals that are black and white to help them to blend in or to help them to stand out. Now penguins live in Antarctica. And what color is it in Antarctica, guys? There's a lot of white because there's a lot of snow. So these guys right here, they wouldn't necessarily blend in just with the white because they're mostly black on their body. You can see their back is all black and their belly is all white. But this is something called counter shading, which means that the back of the animal is dark and the front is light. We see this a lot in lots of different animals. If you ever look at like a snake, you flip him over, his belly is going to be lighter than his top usually. Or if you look at even like your cat or your dog, they usually have a light belly and a dark back. Now the reason that penguins have counter shading specifically is because they swim. Now we see this also a lot in ocean animals. We see it in fish and sharks and penguins. Now the black and white makes it so when they're swimming in the water and they're really, really good swimmers, they can't be seen very well. So if you're looking up at the penguin, if you were to be underneath the penguin in the water and you're looking up, you'll see his white belly, and that'll help him to blend in with the bright sky above you. So if you look up in the water, you'll see that the water above you is lighter because of where the sun shines. So his light belly helps him to blend in above. But if you were something that was looking down at the penguin, then his dark back helps him to blend in with the ocean floor or with the dark water that's underneath him. So even though the black and white doesn't necessarily blend in with the area, like the habitat that they live in, you might think like, well, there's a lot of snow or there's a lot of rocks, but black and white seems like it wouldn't really blend in Antarctica. It does in the water. So these guys have counter shading to help them either hunt for fish, because a fish that sees upward or downward won't be able to see it, or to hide from predators, because a predator that's looking for food like the penguin can't see it as well looking up or down. So that's another reason for black and white coloring in animals is counter shading. And why don't you, as just a little activity to take home with you, try and look around, think of lots of different black and white animals, and maybe try and think of some of the ways that we've talked about why animals are black and white, and see if they match with any of the animals that you can think of. Maybe it's to help them to stand out and say, no thank you, don't eat me, don't attack me. Maybe it's to help them to blend in, like the zebra or the penguin. Okay, so see if you can come up with any of those things. I'm gonna do one last check to see if you guys have come up with any other animals. And if you have, that's awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you guys so much for sharing. I'm gonna come around real quick. Let's see All right, I think we answered all of our questions and comments. So thank you guys so much for joining us today at Discovery Reading. The books we read today again were Tracks of a Panda and I'll Wait, Mr. Panda. So if you want to look at those books later, you can check those out. But for now, we will see you guys tomorrow with another video. And Thursday we'll be back with another Discovery Reading. And Friday with a Life Science Live. We'll be talking about a life science topic. If you have any questions or suggestions for any topics you'd like to hear in the future, go ahead and comment them down below or feel free to message us here. And we will see you all later. Goodbye.